Yes, she should be here.
Okay.
Oh, is it Pacific now? I don't remember Pacific. St. Mary's. I can make good.
Oh, there we go. Have a seat right here. Okay. All right, welcome everyone. Welcome San Francisco. We will start with a statement from Coach Goodenbauer about the game, and then we will have questions for the student athletes. Following our questions for the student athletes, we'll dismiss them and then have questions for Coach. Go ahead, Coach.
So we knew this was going to be a really intense matchup. LMU has finished the season on a really, really strong note, and I think, I've said this a couple times now. Maya Hernandez, we don't have a most value or a most improved player, but Maya Hernandez certainly would win that award for us. She's been a tremendous factor for them down the stretch, and we really had problems matching up with her one-on-one. She's just gotten a lot more confident. She's skilled with her back to the basket. She's skilled facing up from 15 feet. Between Evans and Williams, they can hit some phenomenal shots. Evans lives to put the team on her back and make a big shot. And we knew we were going to have to try to at least make those shots challenging for her. And I think for the most part, a team effort, we were able to do that. But I give LMU a lot of credit. They played really well this latter part of the season, and we knew this was going to be a tough matchup.
Let's go with questions for Freya and Emma. Go ahead, Jeff.
Freya, you guys managed to win the game by 9 points to stop, despite not making a field goal in the last 4 minutes, because you were 11 in a row as a team from the foul line. Can you just talk about the fact that it seemed like you had control of things, but never really could pull away?
Yeah, I feel like that's more all credit to LMU. They're a really tough game and a tough team, and they just keep going. But we have been in this position a couple of times now during the season, so I feel like we get more experience and we know how to handle close games.
Emma, what's the team's mindset going forward? You got Oregon State tomorrow, I believe.
Yes.
And you split with them. What do you need to do to beat them, and how confident are you guys feeling right now?
Honestly, I think we all feel really confident. Every time we play and we step out on the court, we play to win. So tomorrow we're going to do the same thing. And yeah, we're feeling confident. We're trying to compete with everyone and always have the winning mindset.
Freya, I remember during the media day before the season, talking to your coach, and she said she wanted you to be more assertive offensively. It seems like that's gradually happened this year. Can you just talk about how you've approached becoming a more aggressive player?
Yeah, I feel like that was a role that didn't really come natural for me. I haven't really been in that position before, but throughout the season, I feel like I've grown a lot, and it comes more natural. I'm more aggressive, and my coach and my teammates always want me to be aggressive, so it's easy.
Emma, coming into this season, already a lot of good pieces on this USF team. How do you feel like you fit in pretty seamlessly throughout this whole course of the season, just doing a little bit of everything right when the team needs it?
I think what it's been easier for me just playing with confidence, because I know everyone trusts me, not just my teammates but my coaches. Molly's always encouraging me to play freely, all the coaches and my teammates, so that's been really easy.
And Freya, when it comes to taking over the offense, how have your teammates enabled you to say, yeah, you can do this, and you're going to do it well, and you're going to help us go to the mountaintop?
I feel like that just speaks to the team. We all really encourage everyone. We're confident with every player that steps on the court. So that just speaks with the culture that we have here at USF.
I'm just going to add to that. We haven't given Freya any choice. We basically give her the ball and tell her, you've got to shoot it, you've got to score it, you've got to attack the rim. But I do think, it was unfortunate that we lost Deb Dos Santos partway through the season. But if there is a silver lining to that, I think both for our team and for Freya individually, she's really had to, even more so than we've asked her in the past, really had to step up her individual play. She is our number one scoring option, and she needs to be that, and she needs to believe that she is that. And I think without Deb, that's just been reinforced more. So, I do think, while we lost Deb, I think, for Freya individually, this is putting her in a position as she moves on from USF to be more marketable as a professional player as well, because that was maybe the one piece of her game, was just the willingness to be the guy every night that's taking the shots and scoring. So I do think that is, kind of given her a running start into the next part of what's going to be a long career for her.
Any other questions for the student athletes?
Yeah, Freya, what Coach just said, is that something you were aware of? Is that something you're recognizing will be a side benefit of this? What this does for your long-term basketball future?
I mean, yeah, I feel like now it's been so much focus on this season, so I haven't really thought about like the long term. But yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's a role that I haven't really had before. So I feel like I've grown a lot into it.
Freya hasn't thought about it because she doesn't think about herself at all. She's always thinking about her team. But that is something that certainly will benefit her as she moves forward, and it has helped our team as well. So.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you, Freya and Emma. We'll have questions for Coach.
Thank you.
So you don't mind sticking around for just
Sure.
another minute or two? Thanks.
Good job, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Molly, can you talk about the challenges that Oregon State presents? You split with them, I believe.
Yeah. They are a very well-coached team. Scott does a good job in his preparation. Obviously, playing 2 days in a row, our tournament format is not conducive to the lower seeds really having a huge advantage. So those two things for sure. Their size inside, they've got a couple of big kids inside that we don't match up super well against. We've got Z's playing a bigger role for us now and has come in and given us some critical minutes in these last latter part of the season. But they play kind of a matchup zone, some different looks than we're used to playing against. All night tonight for the most part was man to man. But I do think we've had enough experience down the stretch with how Portland plays, how St. Mary's plays, how Oregon State plays, that we're prepared to have a zone attack. We're going to have to be able to knock down some outside shots, which is always literally hit or miss with us, and going to have to get some offensive rebound opportunities. I thought LMU does a great job offensive rebounding, and we're going to have that mindset that we're going to get some second chance opportunities. Would still like to push the ball up the floor a little bit better than we did tonight, get some opportunities to play before their defense gets set. But I'm excited. I think the kids are excited about having another opportunity to play together, and we'll see what we can do tomorrow.
We talked a lot about Freya, but Luana and Angeliki really made big contributions for you today. Talk about them a bit.
I thought between Lou and Angie, they spent the bulk of the time on Evans, and our goal was you're not going to limit her a ton scoring because she's going to take a lot of shots, but at least make those shots be really challenging shots, and I thought we did. We made her play fairly inefficiently, and but she can pull some shots out of there. Especially she's one of those kids that can hit big shots when you need them. Those guys are always dangerous, and Williams too. We didn't have to play against Williams the last time. I think she was out the last time we played them. But I thought both those guys did a really nice job defensively. I thought Lou made some good shots at the rim, some basket attacks. I thought they both made their free throws. We made our free throws really well when we needed to.
Molly, it seems like at certain points in the season, no 2 days were the same with players in and out of the lineup and everything. How does this team just kept it moving? Because at some point, it's hard to just keep it going at certain points. You could look over your shoulder and say, it's just a lot coming our way.
Yeah, no, it was. I think we went through a stretch there right after we lost Deb when it was really tough for all of us. I think we lost 4 games in a row and then came back and won a couple and then lost a couple more. And, at some point you get over the almost a grieving process for losing a player like Deb and what could have been, and that took us a little bit to finally kind of snap out of it and say, look, this is what we got. How are we gonna be the best version of who we are at this point? And I think once we all, and that took a coaching staff a little while. It took some of the team a little while. It took all of us, different amounts of time to arrive at that. But I think we've arrived at that point, probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, and decided, look, we're just gonna go with who's out there and who's able to play, and we're going to try to be the best version of what we can be, and we can be pretty good with that if everybody's bought into it. So.
And you highlighted it already, but when Deborah went down, obviously a lot of the attention went on Freya, and despite all that, she's been as consistent as ever down the stretch of this season. What about her preparation has her not really shying away from this moment, even though you said she has to be that?
It's just her character. She's such a phenomenal person. She's, Freya's only, her biggest flaw is her, her confidence in herself. And I think everything we've tried to do since the day she stepped foot on campus was tell her how good she can be and how good she is already, and then be able to kind of use those skills and have the freedom to make mistakes, have the freedom to, be the kind of player you saw tonight. I mean, she's a really, really good player, and her biggest challenge was believing that, and then stepping up and being comfortable in that role. She's still, I think probably the easiest part of Freya's life is the 2 hours that she's on the court, because she's starting to know who she exactly is on the court. You can be that person who maybe you aren't off the court. You can be super assertive. You can be a little bit selfish. You can be the one that takes the shots, and off the court, that's not her personality at all. So just kind of getting her to be okay with that role.
Any other questions for Coach? Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right, welcome LMU. We have Coach Erica Hughes, student athletes Nadia Evans and Maya Hernandez. We'll start with a statement from Coach Hughes. Then we'll have questions for the student athletes. After those questions, we'll dismiss the student athletes and have questions for Coach Hughes. Go ahead, Coach.
What a fun basketball game to be able to coach in. USF and Molly's group did a fantastic job. We had a first-team all-conference player that we just couldn't contain, but I know that we threw everything at her. For us, this was a tough one, not just because of losing a game, but because of what this group has meant to the staff, what the players have meant to the staff, and vice versa. Knowing that we have some really special seniors that have led our group, also left a legacy. We have a little legacy in the making over here with 55 with Maya, and I know she's got some big shoes to fill. But really proud of the way we fought this season, especially being down the volleys that we had been. Really proud of our group. Sad to see it end.
All right, questions for the student athletes.
Yeah, Maya, Coach Goodenbauer was in here a few minutes ago and really complimented how much you've improved this year. Said you were a handful for them. Can you just talk about the progress you've made in your game this year and where you think you can go going forward?
Yeah, I definitely couldn't have gotten there on my own. I've been poured into by all the coaches in every facet of the way, whether that's watching film or getting extra shots up, but also having Nadia being able to feed me the ball and Beta also being able to get the ball inside and stretch the defense. I wouldn't be where I am without them.
Nadia, looks like they devoted a lot of attention to you today, and you produced, but they made it hard. Can you just talk about them defensively and what their approach was to guarding you?
Yeah, they're a good defensive team, and I think we go with the coaching staff, we do a lot of game planning because we know I get a lot of attention. They made it hard. I think I got to my spots. I missed 6 free throws, missed some easy shots, so, sometimes balls just don't go your way.
Nadia, I want to kind of take you back on the journey from media day to now. You, Brandy, and Coach Hughes, it was clear that the joy and energy you guys bring to work every day was apparent in every facet. What about playing for Coach Hughes for this 1 year gives you the most pride?
I'm just so grateful. That's a hard question, man. Not a lot of people get to play for such an amazing person. Truly, what she's doing here and the staff, they're not only amazing coaches, but they're amazing people. They pour into everybody, and they give so much. So I have nothing but love, and I'm so blessed and grateful to have played my last year here, because I would have chosen any other way.
Maya, you've seen it front and center throughout the whole season. How do you describe just the type of energy that this program can bring in the future?
I mean, we have a lot of camaraderie on and off the court, so that energy kind of really helps us. And like the chemistry that we have and the bonds that we've built is something really special and something I'm really gonna miss. But they've created such a culture here, Nadia, B-Dub, Ava, our seniors, that it's gonna carry on over the years, and it's just really exciting to see how much of a family we've become, even with the coaches with us, which is so rare, I feel like. But to have such a love for our coaches and for them to give us everything, it's gonna really help us in the future.
Nadia, we saw you in the final seconds take it all in. You've had an incredible career, but a really special year on the Bluff. What are you going to remember the most walking away from here?
I'm going to remember loving the game of basketball and having fun. College athletics can be really hard and can be really toxic, but this is the opposite of that. And again, more praise for Coach A and the staff. And they are a special group, and I'm so blessed, so grateful. So I'm just gonna remember, I'm so glad that this is the way that my career ended. I'm just so blessed.
And Maya, as Jeff mentioned, Coach Molly said you should be most improved player if that was an award in this conference. When you look back from last year, through all your work over summer, all your work this season, you yourself, what are you most proud of that you've done?
I would say just battling and keep going at it. Like, I'd say in the middle of the season, just maybe not doing my best, and then being able to have coaches believe in me no matter what, and then being able to kind of finish the season strong has been something I'm really proud of, and just kind of the mental aspect of the game. But I think the coaching, like, they truly do believe in me, and they never steered away from me, and I think that really helped me.
And you became a leader this season, whether you wanted to or not. How do you feel knowing that going into next season, you're the woman on this team?
Yeah, I think just having such great leadership from Nadia, I have learned so much from her, and she gives me so much advice during the game, during practice. I think I'm just so grateful to have her to have her be a role model for me, and just kind of excited for that leadership role next year as well.
Nadia, real quick, you've been referred to as fire. Where does that come from, and where do you channel that now?
I think just where I come from. I'm from a small town in Missouri, Waynesville. Come a long way, and it's hard to small. I don't think I'm that fast. I can't jump that high. So it takes a lot of hard work, and you got to do something different and be a different way and believe in yourself. You know, Kobe's my favorite player, so. And where do I put that now? I don't know. We'll see.
I just want to say it's been a pleasure to follow you all season. And Maya, I want to know if maybe you could comment a little bit on some of the other folks who are on this journey with you that you've been mentoring, like Allison, Zawadi, and others, and what their contributions have meant.
Yeah, I mean, something I tell them every time they go in, Zawadi especially, just bring that fire, bring that energy. You're going in there to fly around, and she really is a spark for us defensively and when she attacks the basket offensively. And Allison, just the second she's aggressive, it opens everything up for us, whether that's driving the ball or shooting that three every time. I think just for them to have confidence, and I have so much confidence in them. As a freshman, they really stepped up. So I think it's just instilling in them how much I do believe in them, and I tell them that every time they sub in. So, yeah.
Thanks. Can't wait to see you next season.
Okay. Thank you to Nadia and Maya. You're free to go, and we'll stay for questions for Coach.
Erica, you got it down to 2 points pretty late, and then it just seemed like there was a lid on the basket for you guys, and you had to foul, and they made all their free throws. Did it feel like you had a chance to win the game at that point, and what do you think happened?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's something special about March. You always feel like there's something a little bit extra. And for us, I think we missed some bunnies. We missed some key buckets. I think probably the biggest loss for us out on the floor was Brandy fouling out with quite a significant time left. Being able to rely on that second person that's a threat that can extend the defense as much as Zawadi gives us right now defensively, and she does. She gives us a huge spark. I know her, for us, having someone that can extend the defense and maybe being able to get Maya the basketball versus having to rely just strictly on Nadia in those moments. But a couple more free throws, a couple more layups, ball bounces a couple different ways. Maybe that it ends a little bit differently, but unfortunately it wasn't for us today.
Yeah, Nadia took that three, chased it down, got the rebound, and just couldn't put the layup in.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, it was a 4-point game at that point. So
Yeah.
yeah. Can you just talk a little bit, real quick, about going forward with Maya as your leader a year from now?
Yeah, I mean, Maya Hernandez comes from a program. It's no secret. Archbishop Mitty up in the Bay Area does a fantastic job. And after her freshman year, I stopped giving Sue Phillips credit, and I started giving it to Maya because she's the one that really wanted to be who Maya is. She's someone that puts so much time and effort into her game. She is willing. She is fire as well. She's got a pretty strong personality and a will. And, I have great coaches around me as well. Lauren Unger has done a fantastic job with Maya out on the floor. But I want to kudos and give all the credit to Maya for her hard work and the fact that she continued to show up as a sophomore. It is so hard to struggle the way that she did throughout times in the season. So for her, that mental piece that she's talking about is real. I mean, we watch her in practice. Sometimes it's hard to be able to shift over in that moment, knowing that you are the answer for us to win, and her not being able to convert, but continuing to push through and show up and know that we weren't going to stop giving it to her. So Maya's going to be a huge bright spot. She's got a lot of things to be proud of, and I know that she's really looking forward to even now taking it in, being present, especially with those 3 seniors, and then we'll worry about next year when it gets here.
Coach Dadia showed a lens into it, but the lasting memory of the 2024-2025 LMU Lions is what?
Family. And I mean that. I know it sounds really corny. Everybody uses that. But I told him after the game, I mean, for me, we want to win. We want to continue to progress. Everybody wants us to win, but for our group, our staff, we wanted to keep coming to work to be able to see the kids that we got a chance to coach. We wanted to keep showing up and going to war with the group that we have, because I don't think we're going to get another one as together as the one we had this season.
Coach, you and I have talked a lot about culture over these last 4 years. You faced a lot of adversity this year. Players that we thought we'd never see in the starting lineup are all of a sudden starting WCC tournament games, big buckets, whatnot. I'll leave it open-ended, but your thoughts on this team's culture?
I mean, it's exactly what I have wanted it to be for a really long time. I think we've had spurts. We've had glimpses of it, but you need everybody on the same page. And this year, my staff did a fantastic job of picking the right type of people along with the right type of basketball players. And then when you take time and you really invest in young women and you constantly talk about belief themselves, giving just a little bit of autonomy for them to have ownership in a space, and then collaborate with older players. I mean, Brandy Williams is, I think she's 25 years old, you guys, maybe? That's an old college basketball player that is going to probably want a little bit of a say. Nadia, as you can see, she's not lost, maybe a little bit lost for words right now because of emotion, but being able to talk with them, and the main thing I thought we had this year was a mentality of wanting to win and wanting to be here. So our culture is exactly where I want it to be. I know what this program can be, and we're going to continue to excel and strive for that every year moving forward.
And it's rare in this new college basketball era to have transfers really cement their legacy in their new schools, especially as grad transfers. But Nadia walks away a Lion legend. Your thoughts on her and what her lasting legacy will be on the Bluff?
Exactly what you said. I mean, she's blazed a trail since she's gotten here. I don't think Nadia has ever seen a shot that she didn't like or didn't think that she couldn't make. She also makes sure she's barking at everybody else around her when she misses it. And, for her, I said it at our senior dinner, no one gives you instructions on how to shape fire. And what I learned this year is that you can't. But you definitely can't diminish it. You can't suffocate it, otherwise it'll burn out. And you also can't let it run wild, otherwise it'll burn everything down. So for her, she's such a huge piece of what this group is, and the joy and the love and the confidence she breathes in everybody. And when you walk out on the floor, I think the one thing that she wanted in her senior year was to have fun. And because she wanted that for herself, because of her infectious personality, because she loves the game of basketball, because we gave her just enough room to be herself, I think she found that, and everybody else followed in suit, and it was really, really special. Nadia is and will be missed, and as emotional as you saw us, we actually get into it a ton, if you can imagine. But I'm going to miss that, and there's not going to be another Nadia for us.
I can't imagine the two strong-willed competitors get into it, but if you say so, we'll take your word for it, Coach. A version of a question I asked Maya, Allison Clark, as a freshman, really was put into a challenging position starting, and she had some shots yesterday that just didn't fall. But I wonder if you could talk about her contributions today, because it seemed like she came up very big.
She did, and she has all year. That's another one that just wants it. I mean, being a part of a program where she comes from high school, and what she wanted to be coming into LMU, her mindset, that's a lot of it is, I want to give credit to her for her work ethic, but also her mentality as a freshman. You know how easy it is, especially when you have to show up every night and be able to extend the defense. Not saying that it's any easier for Maya to make layups with 3 people on her. But Allison is someone that constantly works and strives for greatness in a lot of spaces in her life. And I think she's probably the most consistent player. If we look at her stats, probably over the last, I would say, before we got to the tournament, maybe the last 8 games. So her efficiency defensively, but then also her efficiency offensively. Positionally correct, taking criticism in practice, right? Showing up, coming back every single day, really wanting to focus on that defensive end. And then, like Maya said, when you have great people around you that believe in you, you're hearing that from your staff. But more importantly, when they hear it from each other as a freshman, that you know you can, and we're going to continue to give you the basketball. I think Brandy, Nadia, Carly, Zwadi, Maya, all of them tell her, continue to show up, continue to be aggressive, and AC trusts in that, and she also believes in herself. She's going to be a huge bright spot for us moving forward, and definitely moving over probably in that leadership role as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thanks.